Oh, let's talk about Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. I didn't love that part.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Aftershow. I'm your host, Nikki Novak, and today, man, we're going to have a lot to talk about. We're talking about Shazam, Fury of the Gods, of course, the follow-up to the 2019 movie Shazam, and this is a spoiler-filled conversation, so if you have not seen it, do yourself a favor, watch it before you watch this episode, but if you like it that way, then just continue on, and we're just going to have a chat. We're going to be talking about deep diving into the film, talking about all the questions, the burning questions that the film left behind. We're going to be talking about that Peter Saffron, James Gunn, DC, where it's going, post-credit scene, all that good stuff. So we're going to dive right in.
Look, I might not have as much experience as you because I'm not super old like you, but I've seen all of the Fast and the Furious movies, lady. It's all about family. Family! Guys, that was a signal.
First of all, I want to welcome my guest. He is the founder and the editor of Nerd Reactor, Nguyen. Welcome.
Yay!
Woo! A one-person, two-person applause. First time on the show.
First time on the show, yes.
Welcome.
Yeah, no, I'm excited just to be on, just to talk about movies, and first time look at the little sets, the Thor, Mjolnir, Wreck-It Ralph, Doctor Strange. I love it.
Thank you for appreciating our set. And I keep meaning to bring in, I have my own paraphernalia that I get during awards season that I keep meaning to bring in. But yeah, so let's dive in. Are you ready to talk Fury of the Gods?
Yes.
Okay, so let's start out with that Rotten Tomatoes score at 52%. The audience score is at 88%. This is the kind of stuff that gives us a lot to talk about. And here's the critics' consensus. More unfocused and less satisfying than its predecessor, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, still retains almost enough of the source material's silly charm to save the day. John, what do you think about this? What do you think about the critics' score? First of all, do you agree? What are your general thoughts before we deep dive on this film?
Yeah, after seeing the numbers, I was a bit surprised. It's all over again with the other superhero movies, Black Adam, Quantumania, because I actually enjoyed those movies and this one. But to have it just really below that, I was like, wow, all right. And then especially after Oscar season with the movies, so I feel like critics are extra critical now.
Where would you sort of fall on that scale? Are you in between? Are you on one side or the other?
I would be more on the 80s side because I would give this movie a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would be way higher than the 50s, yeah.
Yeah. So here's my little theory that I'm going to throw out there, which maybe people have said, but, and this applies to Marvel as well, because people were really hard on Quantumania. People did not like the last Thor movie. People seem to have turned on funny superhero movies.
I enjoyed the last Thor movie. It's it's
too.
Silly fun. But then I was reading afterwards, oh, this movie's terrible. And just Marvel recently has just not been good.
So why do you think that? Why do you think people are suddenly giving these films low scores when audiences seem to like them and you and I seem to like them? Why do you think the scores have drastically lowered?
I think I was talking to a friend recently, and he mentioned about superhero fatigue. But then he's been watching a lot of the Oscar movies, so that might be part of it. There's so many different elements, background stuff that can shape how you view things. So I think the biggest thing would be maybe Marvel superhero fatigue, or that can include DC superheroes too. So it's that's why I'm excited for the future of what James Gunn is going to do. Shake things up. We'll see where it goes. Yeah,
we're going to get into that too. Here's what I think. I went to see a public screening of this movie.
Yeah.
I am the only person that stayed for the mid and post-credit scenes, what does that tell me?
But you said there's only 4 people in there? Or?
Yeah, but they all just got, as soon as the movie was over, they got up. They didn't even occur to them. But this happened to me. I'm trying to remember another superhero movie I just saw in the theater with the public. Same thing happened.
Yeah.
And it made me realize maybe this is part of what the audience score is. They're just going to have a good time. They're not thinking about the world building, and they're not thinking about what James Gunn and Peter Saffron are doing.
Yeah.
They're leaving the movie and they're thinking, did I have a good time or did I not have a good time? And that's the general public, the people that aren't as invested in where it's going, where it's been, as you and I and the rest of the, rest of the critics in the world are.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what you love, like the things about the film that worked for you, or maybe favorite scenes.
Oh, there's a lot of scenes.
Oh, there is? Oh my gosh, I love this.
So
okay,
many.
go for it.
Yeah. I think what's the first thing that pops up is just more of the wizard. Because in the first movie, he has that moment with Billy, like talking about the powers and like, you must say my name. And then he says the name and then the wizard just disappears. He turns into ash and that's it. And I was like, that's it of the wizard?
We thought he was gone after the first one.
You hired Jumon Hansu to play the character, and that's all we get of him. But this one, he's back, and he gets to have a lot of just screen time, just interacting with more on Freddy's character, or the character Freddy, and it's a lot of fun. A lot of jokes, a lot of humor. I like the humor.
He was funny in this one, which he wasn't really in the last one. It was a choice for sure.
Yeah. There's one scene where it was at one of the characters was like, "Oh, unicorns! Like I love unicorns," and he replies back with, "Well, they don't like you."
That's the thing that you've seen it twice, and I completely missed that joke.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was a lot of good humor in it. I mean, personally, Helen Mirren, which I think it's hilarious that she said that she didn't. I think she said in a press interview she didn't understand the plot.
A lot of the movie.
The plot.
Oh, the plot of the movie.
But it didn't matter because she rocked it. Like, my favorite moment was guess.
Was when she's reading? Yes, she's reading the stuff that's written by Steve the Pen, which is another
written by Steve the Pen.
Yeah,
in the library of what's it called? The library of something.
I forgot what it's called.
The library.
Yeah.
But so the pen is basically dictating all the kids and everything they said, and for people who forgot. But I think a lot of people are saying that's kind of their favorite moment because, I don't know, watching it, I was just thinking as an actress, there must have been such a temptation to read it in different characters' voices, but she really stuck to thinking this was all one thought.
Yeah.
Okay, what else did you love?
I just like Freddy, just him having his own story and then getting to meet Anne and the whole turn later on. I love that. I wish they fleshed that more out. We could talk about like the lack of later. But I liked just him, just his performance, especially at the end with him and Anne fighting against the dragon because the dragon feeds on their fears. And so there's a moment where they didn't have superpowers. Yeah. And so the only thing to defeat it is just to have courage within yourself. And all the superpowers didn't matter. And you can see like they're just really holding on to each other, fighting this dragon. You can see it in his eyes, like the fear, but he's still trying to. It's
very it.
Yeah, Jack. His performance is great. I love it.
It's very it.
Yes, yes, very it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say something that could be controversial. Because you brought up Freddy.
Yeah.
In the first one, this was very much, and I enjoyed the Rachel Zegler. I liked her performance. I feel like that sort of budding romance replaced sort of the budding friendship and brotherhood between the two in the first one.
Yeah.
That was sort of the sweet story of this one, because I feel like they didn't develop the friendship between Billy Batson and Freddy as much in this one.
Oh, no.
At all, actually. They kind of both co-starred in the film. They both had their own half, I felt like. But and a lot of people have been saying that they didn't feel like Zachary Levi's energy matched Asher Angel. Is it Asher Angel? Asher Angel's energy.
Yeah.
Yes. Because Billy Batson as Asher as Billy Batson is now 18, 19.
Yeah.
And they didn't give him a lot of the goofy stuff this time. They gave him the more emotional stuff. So he was a little bit more mature, and then cut to Zachary Levi acting like he was 12.
Yeah.
It almost occurred to me, and it wouldn't have worked for the first one, that Jack Dylan Grazer as Freddie Freeman should have been Billy Batson because he looked like a younger Zachary Levi to me, and their energy matched. Like,
yeah, they were like very like all over the place
person.
and looking around, and that would have been perfect.
Yeah, and then I feel like Adam Brody and Asher Angel's energies matched. I feel like they should have done a Shazam swap bodies.
Swap body, yeah.
Because it seemed like they were miscast almost in this one, and it was nothing against anybody's performance. It was a choice, and I think had Zachary Levi played an 18, 19-year-old, I don't know. I mean, I guess he could have, but...
Yeah. I do agree with that with young Billy. He's very mature, and he's trying to just... Like, whenever he's interacting with Freddy, it's like, all right, Freddy, can we meet to the side? Instead of just causing a scene. I was like, oh, look at that. He's, like, trying to take care of him somehow, being the older brother, and just calm. So I'm like, I don't know, I agree with that. And then Zachary Levi, when he shows up, it's like, hey. And then if you look at the end credits, he's like, pew, pew, pew. He's shooting the bottles. I'm like, what a kid. And then they even mentioned how he's like, oh, this guy's immature and all that.
Yeah.
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 And so,
well, I don't know. I think they cast wrong the first time, but then it worked in the first one.
Yeah.
It really worked, but also Jack Dylan Grazer was a lot younger, and so you really had that balance between, somebody much younger, and in this one, and like from being 18, 19, you want to be 25. You want to be 30. You don't want to act like a kid anymore at that age.
So I'm an adult. I can do this. I'm going to drive a car. Am I there yet? 21, drinking age? Not yet, but I'll pretend.
I also, speaking of things we liked, I also really liked any sort of interaction between Helen Mirren's character and Zachary Levi. I thought they had a great dynamic between the two of them when they were sitting down on that pink bench.
Yes.
And they were having all those. The only thing that like wigged me out was when he was beating the tar out of her, and you see Helen Mirren's body like flopping around. It was clearly a body double.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, ow. Like, can we do that to Dame Helen Mirren? Like,
she put a dome around everyone. And at the end, the third act, a lot of people died. Like, she did redeem herself.
She did.
But then she also killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we think of Calypso, Lucy Liu?
It's just uninteresting, like her character. I wish there was more of that family dynamic of what Rachel's character, Anne, alluded to. Like, oh, my bigger sister.
Yeah.
They love, it's like you can feel like there's love, but then they're being overbearing. I wanted to see more of that. We didn't get to see
the family dynamic between the three of them. Yeah. Yeah. I actually thought one of the best moments was when Helen Mirren, and they were all sitting on their thrones.
Yeah.
And Helen was reading the letter, and Rachel's reaction to her, where in those superheroes that are trying to be menacing, but they're so serious and they're hilarious. And I thought Rachel's reactions to her reading the letter were amazing. Like, I thought that dynamic was really cool.
I didn't notice that. So what happened?
She just kind of like, it was comedy, but but it was like when you don't play the joke, you play the seriousness of the situation. Like she was like really reacting to everything Helen's character was saying, which tells me she did a good job. Because sometimes when my eyes go to a certain actor in a scene, because I don't think the focus was supposed to be on her, but my eyes were just drawn to her as she was reacting, and I just thought it was genius. But I agree about Lucy. I don't think it was the actress's fault. I just think it was kind of
the material that she had.
The material.
Like, this is it. She wants revenge,
right?
And Helen's gonna do something to make her angry, and then betrayal. And you're out of here. I'm gonna take over.
Yeah. And did you appreciate the flip of Helen's character of Hespera? Did you think that worked for the script?
It's there. For this movie, I just wish there was more of what they're trying to do. I wanted more relationship between Freddy and Anne, so that when Anne does flip later on, because I think she flipped too early, I want to feel that. I was like, oh, I'm heartbroken. Like I'm watching Freddy. He's head over heels. So that when the flip does happen, I feel like just anguish, I guess. And then with the Helen stuff, I felt like that's like an afterthought. Like, okay, all right. Shazam, you did good. I guess I'll help you.
Yeah, it wasn't fleshed out.
Yeah.
Okay, so third act, it's funny because, again, I think I'm opposite to everybody else because I kept hearing how long and drawn out the third act was. And I freaking loved the third act.
Yeah.
I thought the monsters were so cool. I thought the CG, I heard that, the dragon, let's talk, like they use the same company that does Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, well, if we're going to have dragons, we're going to go to the people that know. So I was, for a second, I was like, are we watching Game of Thrones? Because they looked like Game of Thrones dragons. Really cool. Like, I thought that David Sandberg did a really good job in the first one. One of my favorite scenes in the first one was the office scene. If you remember, when Mark Strong's character like comes to the office and like chucks the guy out the window, chucks his brother out the window.
That one.
And then you see these monsters for the first time. And they did a really good job of, look, if this is a sequel, go big or go home. They went so much bigger. And most of the time, I find third acts very tedious when I see punch and punch. And I did around 40 minutes before the end, where they sort of regroup and then they're building up to this epic battle. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Here we go again.
But I was so entertained. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
For a change, I loved the third act. And I thought it worked. What did you think?
I thought it was okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like I wanted, like I said before, the more of the relationship. I wanted to see more of that.
Yeah.
Like just what happens to the family after the events of the first one. They just got their powers. I want to see them struggle with that. We see a little bit of it, especially with Mary's character, where she's not going to college. She's just sticking around with the family. So I want to see her going to hang out with people her age, because they've shown the aftermath with her wearing the shades and she's like out of it. But I want to see that, her like maybe partying with her friends. And then her friends are like, come on, let's do this. It's like, no, I got to hang out with my family. We got to do something, protect people, I guess. More of that. And then the third act, I felt like it took away from all that other stuff.
Definitely did. Was a different type of a film.
Yeah, but I still enjoyed it for what it was, because it's a superhero movie. You got to have the stakes of the Daughters of Atlas taking over and Philadelphia just being inside a dome.
I think for me, at one point, I realized the story wasn't as strong, obviously, as the first one. But that didn't, I was like, that's okay. I'm just going to be entertained. And then I started thinking about potential plots.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking what would have been really cool to explore would be like, I wrote down, had the goddesses come there to lure him because they can use him in their world and how much power he has to maybe fight somebody else. So they lure him in and he gets pulled away from his family.
There you go.
Where it's like the story is, but we were a core and now you've lost your way because now you're too worried about conquering different universes and almost like he gets a little bit too big for his
temptation.
own.
I love that. Yeah, there you go.
And you even have a freaking apple.
The apple, yeah.
Oh God, that apple changed hands so many times. That apple. I was like, who has the darn apple now? And by the way, what was with the scene where they capture Lucy's character and then they just leave her alone in the lair. They just leave her alone in there to go get the apple and escape.
Oh yeah, no, it was Helen's, right? Helen's character.
Sorry,
Helen.
So
she was
they
there.
They just left her alone.
Yeah, they just thought the thing would hold her, but
I guess that's them being teenagers and just going to hang out on the sofa and not even think.
Like, who knows? Helen Mirren would be able to zap, melt, or escape. And
I would have.
You would have, yeah. Because you knew beforehand, like, this is Helen Mirren.
Yeah. You kind of were.
But then again, in the movie, they're like the Daughters of Atlas, right?
Yes.
So you
don't give them the benefit of the doubt.
Just watch them.
Yeah, keep eyeballs. Have somebody keep their eyeballs on them.
Yeah.
And what about the rest of the cast? I didn't think it was necessary, maybe to have Mary play both characters this time, because I think it kind of threw me off a little bit, where they had her do the older and the younger.
Yeah. So I think it's because she's already like an adult now.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's the same.
Yeah. I think it just threw me off because everybody else was. So it felt like she got more screen time.
Yeah.
Without being justified in that sense, because they didn't flesh out the other family stories as much as they could have.
Yeah, there's so much potential, so much that it makes me sad because I like the characters. I love them every time they're on the screen. The foster family, the parents, and the kids, they're great. And I just want to see more of their struggles, especially with the whole thing with Shazam. It's like, I want to bring us together and everyone doing their own thing. I want to see more of that. I want to see, like, let's say Eugene, Darla, and the other characters, Pedro, doing their own thing and fleshing that a bit more so that when things happen again, you're like, yes, this is cool.
Yeah, and that's what they did in the first one. Like I said, with the hour markers, like it took its time. And I think that's a thing with sequels when they go bigger with, they have a bigger budget, bigger special effects, which actually for the budget I think was $100 million. It looked more expensive. Like I thought it looked
But I still feel like they can do that. Like each character can have their moment, even if it's a bigger budget. Like I have to go back to like Avengers Endgame and Spider-Man No Way Home. But then, they've been established the characters before, but they still get like their little moment of just that time to shine. And I just somehow maybe work on the script more so that each character gets that, like balance it out somehow.
Yeah. I agree. I think the script, definitely the story, like I said, but it didn't take away from... Somehow it didn't take away from my enjoyment of it. I still...
Yeah. No, I still enjoyed it too.
Anything else that stood out that you love?
Let's see.
Let's talk about Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. I didn't love that part. I was like, at first I did, and then I thought about it. I was like, I'm mixed on it. Like, I like it because of the gag. I love the running gag with the...
Not showing the head.
Not showing the head, because in the first one you see Superman not showing the head. So then you see it again. It's like, oh, here we go again. You're not seeing the head, so you're not sure if it's going to be Gal as Wonder Woman. And then later on when you do show her at the end, it's like, oh, finally they showed it. So that got me excited. But then, Deus Ex Machina. Like, I'm a god. I'll bring back Shazam. So I'm like, oh, there goes all the weight of them losing someone they care about, and it's gone in a moment. But you already know that he's going to come back, so...
I actually didn't.
You didn't know?
That moment.
Okay, at that moment.
I thought maybe, did we have a reshoot because DC's resetting?
Yeah.
did we decide to make Shazam really sad in the end? Or maybe I didn't expect it to come around in this movie. I thought maybe they were going to leave it there.
Yeah. I think for this one, because Shazam's kind of like a family type movie, I didn't think they were going to do it.
You didn't?
Yeah. I was like, they can't. Like, kids are going to be watching this. They can't kill Shazam.
Yeah. I thought, wow, they went really dark with this.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, it was spoiled ahead of time that she was in the movie. The thing that I have an issue with is when I can tell it's a body double. Because I know Wonder Woman, I'm being a female, like, I'm just being honest. Like, I have analyzed Gal Gadot's body in costume. Yeah. And I know her shape. And I was like, I knew it wasn't her. I'm talking about I know the second, the end credit.
Yes.
That's her.
Yes.
But I still don't think that was her body.
The final reveal.
Yes.
Like, it's just her face.
No, when she's face on to camera, but there's a shot where she's walking away. And I'm like, that's still a body double. And I think it was a different body double from the body double. And if I'm insulting the actress that played that role, because she actually came out on social media and was like, oh, I can finally say that, that was me. And good for her. Like, she did a great job. Nothing against her body or anybody's body. Everybody has a gorgeous body, but I could just tell it wasn't the same person. Yeah. So but look, I mean, anytime she shows up, it's exciting to me because she's one of my favorite characters. I guess it's just kind of like, well, we don't know if we're going to see her again.
Yeah, it's a big tease. It's like, what's happening? Because Black Adam, you teased Superman. Yeah. Like, is he going to, Black Adam versus Superman, are we going to get that? And then the whole thing, James Gunn, Henry Cavill, they had a meeting, and then he's like, I'm not going to return. And you're like, well, there goes that. And then this movie comes out. Wonder Woman.
Thing.
So is she going to come back?
And no one knows. And I don't know if James Gunn knows.
Yeah.
Or if he knows, he's not telling us. Because, it's now, quote unquote, a soft reboot. And they were asked on the carpet for this if Shazam's coming back again. And he said it depends on the box office, which obviously it wasn't great opening weekend, but we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Yeah. I think the thing that works in terms of like post-credit scenes is that it really has to tease something that's imminent in a sense, or something so big that no one saw coming, even if it's far in the future, that people, or there's a reveal and people go, oh my God. But knowing what we know, where does that thing lead where she obviously comes in and saves him, but at the same time, then she just sort of walks off and it's a very flippant thing. If there had been, I think maybe if Black Adam had done really well and we knew Black Adam was coming back, even like, let's talk about the first post-credit scene.
Yeah.
And that he's asked to join the Justice Society.
Yeah. That one confused me more too, because like, okay, Wonder Woman, it's kind of like this could be like a standalone where just gets fans excited, like, yeah, she's back. But then that one with the crew, the Amanda Waller crew, so you're like, oh, that's part of James Gunn. So he's now running things. So now I'm confused on what they're gonna take or just leave, but then continue on in the future. Shazam Society, what's going on?
Yeah, the first post-credit scene really didn't work for me because I don't want to be mean, but when those two showed up, I don't care about them. I really don't.
You didn't like them in Peacemaker or
I don't think
Squad?
They're big enough to really care. And I know it's his wife and she does a fine job.
Yeah.
But just given the fact that like he's running the studio, he's directing Superman Legacy, he's also writing Superman Legacy, his wife is starring in it, and like you're getting rid of Wonder Woman, but you're not
getting rid of that, like his crew, his peeps.
Right.
Yeah.
And like Zachary Levi's buddies with Peter and they go skiing together. So I'm like, you might be fine.
Yeah.
It all feels very personal.
Yeah. So it's not like a true reboot, but it's like if it's your friends or someone you care about, you're safe.
Yeah. I just know from past post-credit scenes when someone shows up or a new character shows up and you're like, oh my God, they're entering the universe.
Yeah. This is amazing.
Is this person? Like, what's his name from Ted Lasso that showed up in, Marvel? And
it's like his Hercules. Yes.
What? Even if it's like, wait, him?
Yeah, but it's like after Ted Lasso's so big, so when you see it, I'm like, oh,
there's
yeah,
a reaction.
Of course. This makes sense. Or people that don't know, but they're sitting next to someone that does know. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Am I out of the loop here?
So that, I guess that I just wasn't that excited about those characters. Yeah. And then his reaction, like thinking he was being recruited to the Justice League, and then it was like the B team, the Justice Society. I kind of had the same reaction. Like, again, like, let's say, because I know too much, we know too much behind the scenes. So let's say Black Adam was massive, right?
Yeah.
And he was being recruited to Justice Society. I think I'd be more excited.
Oh, yeah.
Because then you'd be like, oh, he's joining Justice Society. And then eventually him and Black Adam are going to have that fight, that epic fight that everybody's talked about for so long. That would have built towards something like, I see trouble, because he kind of aligned with Justice Society and Black Adam. And then what if Zachary Levi's character does, Shazam does, and then they clash? Like, that would have been exciting.
Oh, yeah, that would have been exciting. Yeah. I think for me, just watching that, it's cute. Yeah. But I can see, like, with the end credits, you want something like, yes, I'm going to go back. I'm excited for the future. This one is just, not League, but Society. Oh, not the, like, let's say Amanda Waller, if she showed up, that would have been something. But then they have the other crew, the B team, I guess.
Yeah. And his reaction was kind of my reaction. Like if she said, we're recruiting you to the Justice League, I would have been like, what?
Oh yeah.
But obviously that's not where they're going. And they filmed these apparently long before Gunn took over and Saffron took over. So,
But no, it's like you do want to show something like, wow, this is amazing. Like the first time, one of the big first end credits, like the first Iron Man movie, Samuel L. Jackson's coming in as Nick Fury. It's like, I want to form the Avengers Initiative. You're
that was a moment.
This is going to be big.
Yeah. And look, I think they had already shot it. I think James Gunn and Peter Saffron were like, let's just leave it in. Let's leave in the Wonder Woman. Like, it doesn't really affect our reboot in a sense.
Yeah.
So we might as well. And then I think initially the Justice Society was supposed to be in that scene, but then logistically it didn't work to have them all in. So then it was, on short notice, they got who they got. Nothing against those actors. I mean, they're fine,
But I'm still confused about what's going to go on in the future.
Well, let's talk about the future. And then the Mr. Mind, by the way, the second scene.
Yeah.
Same as in the first film. So do you think they should just keep that a running gag in every future film where it's just like, I'm working on it, it's just going slowly, but I'll come back for you? Or should it actually lead to something?
If they can have, or like if the writers can figure out a way to make him Mr. Mind epic, sure, go for it. Yeah. But I feel like it's a running gag now because Mr. Mind, talking worm, smart talking worm, it's silly when you think about it, but I want to see if they can do this like a serious...
Oh yeah,
and
I'm
takes
there
over.
for it.
You're like, oh, it was the worm all along.
I'm there for it.
Yeah.
I loved Starro. I love all that stuff.
Yes.
I'm so there for it. I think they should run with that. I think that should be Shazam 3.
Yeah.
Mr. Mind and Savannah. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about where we're going with this whole world in DC. So based on these post-credit scenes, we've kind of said this, but does it make it more clear or less clear to you where they're going with the story, or is it neither?
It's I feel like it's just like you're just throwing a dart on a board. Like, let's see where this goes. Because there was a plan. James Gunn revealed the plan. Like, these are the movies that's going to come out with the Superman legacy and the other stuff. And then right now we still have Shazam, and then later on we got The Flash. So is it going to be like a full reboot, or are they going to try to do like a soft reboot?
Yeah.
Where there's going to be still some characters continuing on, because with The Flash, it's a perfect character to try to reboot things. And
he can reset the universe.
Yeah. And then we have other movies coming out afterwards, like Blue Beetle.
What are you most excited for?
Which one? Blue Beetle, or let's say
Flash, Blue Beetle, or Aquaman 2?
Aquaman 2. The Flash, because I want to see Michael Keaton back as Batman. He's kicking ass.
Taking
names. And I want to see what other surprises they have, because if they've shown Batman, Ben Affleck, and Michael Keaton in the trailers, imagine what secrets they have. I don't know. Like, we already saw Wonder Woman back, Henry Cavill back as Superman. So what else can they do here that would excite fans? What do you think?
Listen, the second Tom Cruise said that he loved the movie, I was all in. I don't know where that came from, that they showed him. I'm like, are they trying to woo Tom Cruise over Warner Brothers? What's happening?
Or is he in it somehow?
Is he in it? Oh, hot damn.
What character would he play?
They showed him the movie. I mean, maybe. Oh my gosh, you just have me thinking. What if he has a cameo?
Crossover between Top Gun.
Or Mission Impossible.
Two different companies, Warner Brothers and Paramount. Somehow they figured it out.
I don't know. I just have heard so much buzz about The Flash.
Yeah.
And then when I saw that trailer, I am going to CinemaCon just to see the movie, because I can't wait to see The Flash.
Oh yeah.
And by the way, we haven't even established this. I'm a huge DC girl. Like, I loved Ben Affleck as Batman. I'm a Snyder lover. I love the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
I love Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I love all these characters. Yeah. I liked Justice League. Sorry, but I freaking love DC, and I love these characters.
Yeah, don't apologize for liking Justice League. Yeah.
I loved Justice League. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
The best 4 hours I've ever spent on my couch. That was all freaking awesome. I did it all in one sitting. That was it. So yeah, I'm super stoked for The Flash. Look, I don't think these credit scenes really affect either way. I think, by the way, neither one affects phase 1 of what James Gunn has announced is happening, and that's the Gods and Monsters. So I think whatever was teased here is going to be put on a hold for 3-4 years anyway. We're not going to see the fruition of any of that. So I think that's why, it's not that it's bad. I just had a hard time getting excited about it. If I knew something was coming down the pipeline and it was teasing something and giving it a reveal, but we're going in a different direction.
Yeah.
And, you know,
but it's still shown, though. It's still shown in the movie that audiences are going to be watching. And they're going to be excited. And people that don't know about this whole restructuring, they're going to be like, what happened? And then they're going to be sad.
Yeah. I mean, and who knows? Like, who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Because Snyder has an announcement coming out. I don't know if it'll have aired when this airs, but you know, there's all kinds of speculation. It could just be a screening. I don't know if it's anything in the future, but you know, no one's really said. I think everybody's sort of jockeying for position. All of the current superheroes that haven't been officially let go, they're all kind of like, we love James Gunn.
Yeah, he's my best friend.
Right. So it remains to be seen what will happen, but I'm there for it. By the way, Aquaman was, I think, is the greatest superhero movie of all time, and I'm not ashamed to say that.
Wow.
I love
the
Aquaman.
Greatest, like over, like, let's say Justice League.
Where would you put in terms of like, I'm not saying that it was Solo, the best,
but it's up there.
Like in terms of like in the Marvel DC pantheon, I'm not saying, please don't come at me and don't think that I'm saying it was the best.
Yeah,
but I loved every second of it because
Yeah.
it balanced for me the humor, the campiness
Yeah.
with the seriousness of DC. And Jason Momoa is
Oh,
the greatest
he's so
casting of all
good.
time.
Just being in that subway for the first time, like jumping down.
Oh my
and
God.
he's showing his back and he turns around like, oh, this guy, don't mess with him.
Yeah, whipping that hair in slow mo. I'll
Yeah.
never get. I could have seen 2 hours of that and never been tired of it.
Extended cut.
Do you think James has a master plan? Like I've heard people say that they think he's already cast Superman Legacy, like in his brain, even though they haven't announced it.
Like if he's writing it, I'm pretty sure you have someone in your mind, like, I want this person. And or he's the type that, let's see who's the best fit of these characters. So I really don't know if he's doing one or the other, but I think it's those two. And I don't know who though. Like
Any dream casting?
Dream cast for Superman. It's got to be. I feel like they can go with like an unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I feel like he's done that a lot with like his shows. Like have one person like be like the one, and then everyone else surrounding him just unknowns. But Superman, oh, that's a tough one.
It's tough.
Yeah, someone that represents like the good and all that, the American way of just being Superman in a world that, you know, the synopsis, everyone's cynical. Who's good at doing that?
Yeah, I don't know. People have said, you know, gone down the gauntlet of people because he likes to work with the same people and bring them over from other projects. And there was is actually a British actor, which I don't know if people would be upset if they cast a British actor, but I mean, look at Tom Holland.
Yeah.
And I forget his name and I wish I could remember it, but I looked at him and I was like, I just saw his headshot, and I think he was in Peacemaker. I think he had a small role in Peacemaker, and I was like,
which one was he?
I'll have to look up his name. It'll take me too long.
Which character was it in Peacemaker?
I forget.
Like,
I'm so bad with names.
Was he the sidekick, the one that was helping Peacemaker?
Let me look it up.
But I think I might know who you're talking about because there is that guy. I forgot his name too, but he reminds me of Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like an Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, Aaron
kind
Taylor
of.
Johnson,
Like he looks
yeah.
edgy, but he also looks handsome. But he looks like he could have that handsome likability that Superman has to have.
Oh yeah, because he can play like an asshole in that show, but still have those likable qualities.
Yes.
So imagine going full on Superman. I think he could probably pull it off.
Yeah. So that said, sorry everybody.
Yeah, that guy.
His name. That guy. I can't look it. I can't find it right now. Maybe I can find it after we wrap and they can insert a photo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so overall, I mean, we liked this movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think the more I'm talking about it, like, I really enjoy this movie.
Yeah, I think it's like leave your baggage at the door and then have a good time.
Oh yeah, or you can bring baggage, but bring popcorn put it in the baggage.
The baggage.
And just eat it like this.
Yeah, it was a great time. I would have given it a fresh tomato. I'm on the audience side on this one.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining. As we wrap up, let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at Nerd Reactor, nerdreactor.com, social media, Nerd Reactor. It's all there. And thanks for having me, Nikki.
It was a really fun chat.
Yeah, no, same here. We get to talk about just the stuff we like, enjoy.
We're glass half full people. We like these funny superhero movies. Come at us, critics. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for watching this episode of the After Show. And don't forget to join us on the next one. And we will see you then. Bye.
See ya.